Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, had a fantastic Thursday. It is August the 1st. August is already here, which basically means that we are legitimately 16 days away from Premier League kicking off. The preseason tour in the USA for Arsenal has concluded. We lost to Liverpool yesterday 2-1. Very, very bad performance overall. I'm not gonna lie. There were some bright spots, but overall it was very lackluster. And this game was the worst one in preseason in general. Arne Slot did well. Basically, has coached his team quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. It looked very interesting. But yeah, Arsenal didn't look excellent. They looked gassed after some time. We played a lot of youth still, like half of the team was used, but that is not an excuse. That team was, you could argue, good enough to get the job done because let's be real, Liverpool also played lots of young players and they had less starting players than Arsenal, obviously. Of course, we played Kivior as the right center back. Timber was playing, youngsters. They did decently, I'm not gonna lie. The bright spot of this preseason tour overall has been the youngsters. Nwaneri, Salah, Skelly, also Nichols. They all have been the bright spot of the preseason tour. Overall, rest of them being quite underwhelming overall. But obviously it's preseason, everyone's just getting prepared. Mind you, in 16 days we play against Wolves and we don't look ready to kick off the Premier League. And I'm not saying that signing-wise because that is one of the biggest reasons, but also because players are not up to full fitness, players are not ready to do it because stamina isn't there, they can't last full 90 it feels like. Players are not ready, they are not on their sharpest, that's why we still have two games. We have in Emirates Cup, we have to play against Bayern Leverkusen. That will be an interesting one, by the way. That will be one of the biggest games that will show, are we ready for the Premier League action, because we're gonna play against Bundesliga champions who went invincible last season, who have lost a few players, who have signed a few players, who went to the finals of Europa League. They lost 3-0 there, but still, Bayern Leverkusen is a force to reckon with, and everyone will take them seriously this season, which means that will actually be a very good test before we kick off the Premier League. Afterwards, obviously, we play Lyon, and then after a week, of course, Premier League kicks off, Arsenal versus Wolves, Emirates Stadium, and that will be very interesting. But for today, on the cards, of course, transfer news, Merino, Edu Nketiah, Reece Nelson, and other players that we have been linked with and potentially could sign. We're gonna take a look in Mikel Arteta's interview, of course, after Liverpool 2-1 loss, and overall, where he talks about the preseason, about USA Tour, and how it has concluded. So definitely, I hope there will be some interesting stuff, because as we all know, Mikel Arteta loves to waffle a lot of PR sentences, a lot of political answers in a way, so he says very much, but in general says nothing. So it will be very interesting to see how that is, because I haven't read it yet. I usually do, but I haven't read it just yet. So we're definitely gonna get into that. And of course, right before we get into it, don't forget to smash a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We are getting there. My goal was to hit 100 subs before Premier League kicks off, and we actually might hit 200, which is just mind-blowing for me, I'm not gonna lie. So let's get straight into it. Like, comment, subscribe, interact in the chat, or if you're watching this later as the podcast, as video, leave your comments down below, and let's get straight into it. Let's dig into Mikel Arteta's interview after the preseason tour in the USA has concluded and Arsenal have taken a 2-1 loss against Liverpool. And here it is. Mikel Arteta discussed the game, our opponents, when we'll see Riccardo Calafiori, and what it means to break the soccer attendance record at Lincoln Financial Field. Well, cool, nice. First things first, on learning from previous seasons as an Arsenal manager. There are so many things, it's very difficult to answer that question quickly, but the team has to be constantly evolving and improving because the level is higher and higher. That's what we are trying to do. And he says this, that a team needs to be constantly evolving and improving. Yet yesterday still we saw Zinchenko playing at left back, which was just pathetic how he played and because he was one of the reasons we conceded. He still persisted to play Kai Havertz in midfield, and we all saw last season how that went. It was just shambolic, it didn't work whatsoever, and he still did that. So it is what it is. He says we need to evolve and improve, but in preseason it doesn't look that way. Yes, we played more youth than usual. It looks like maybe Skelly, maybe Salah, maybe Vajeri could get some nice minutes, but all remains to be seen because nothing is given in this league, in Arsenal, and in general. But he needs to evolve the team, and they need to improve. And one of the ways to improve, obviously, is not just tactics, it's not just attitude, it's signings. And we have not got there just yet. We have signed one player. It looks like it might be two very, very soon with Merino, but still it is much short than we actually need. In my opinion, we need still more 2 or 3 signings to get properly challenging from Premier League, basically so we can challenge on all fronts. Both Cups, Premier League and Champions League. In four places we could challenge properly. So let's see what they do. On developing himself as a coach, well, it's many different ways. First of all, being critical of yourself, analyzing what you do and the areas that you can improve. And then having bare people around you, that's always the best. And the thing is, analyzing what you did in areas that you need to improve on. There are lots of things, to be honest, he needs to improve on. And to be honest, in 4 years, certain aspects haven't improved a single bit. Game management, subs, some transfer market action, some players getting played out of positions, and he still persists on that. So it's not great, but oh boy, PR, and PR. On his expectations for a slot Liverpool this season, nobody cares except Liverpool fans. On assessing the current level of this team, now this could be interesting. I think we are in good condition, really. I think we played some really competitive matches. Today was a really strong test. I think we started the game fantastically well. I think after 6 or 7 minutes, we should be 2-0 up. And yes, Arsenal kicked off the game very, very energetic. But after the first about 7-10 minutes, we legitimately dropped off. And our midfield was just like a broken fence. You could walk through it left, right, center, forwards, backwards, in any direction you could imagine. And mind you, Partey was in that midfield, which actually means that Partey has lost his legs and he is not ready to be Arsenal's number 1, number 6. So that leaves the question, are we signing a number 6 or he will be benched? Because I don't see Partey in 2 weeks getting back to get to a proper form. Then we lost control, especially with 2 things that we didn't do well enough, and we allowed them to run in transition, which is a really dangerous thing to do against them. And in the second half, we improved a lot, and we deserved more, but it was great, really difficult conditions to play, great crowd, and we got a lot out of them, please, blah, blah, blah. On his thoughts on our young players, and to be honest, in my opinion, our younger players in Salah, in Vajeri, Skelly, Nichols, they were the bright shining spot of this preseason tour. Because in this preseason tour, yes, you want to see the big guys, the main guys to get into proper form, you want to see them play, but also you want to give youngsters a chance, and we all know what the big guys can do. The main thing is to see our future and maybe some of the youngsters that could play this season in the team, because Arteta hasn't utilized them at all, pretty much, if you think about it. So I'm really pleased with all of them. Unfortunately, I wanted to give opportunities to all of them, but we didn't have enough time to do so. But especially the ones that played, I think they performed and responded incredibly well. And yes, to be honest, you could argue that Vajeri was the player of the preseason in the USA Tour. Arguably, he was one of the best, if not the best. Similarly, like Salah, maybe also Nichols. He actually had a very good preseason, the young center back. So very interesting to see how they will develop and what's gonna happen with them in the near future. But especially the ones that, so that's something that we can take from the tour as well. That we have a lot of talent there that we want to use, and they show that they are very much pushing to earn the right to play with us. And to be honest, Vajeri has been promised game minutes, proper minutes this season, not like the previous ones when he gets subbed on at a random game for 2-3 minutes. So that is very interesting. He says they're pushing to earn the right to play with us, and it will be very interesting how much they have pushed or how much Arteta deems they have pushed to get played. It will be very interesting. Any concerns of ahead of the season? Obviously, we can improve. Yes, we can sign players, play players in proper positions, evolve tactics, and get rid of the useless players. 3 things we definitely can do, even 4 things we can do. Are we doing that? Not on the scale you would like to, especially for a team that has just finished twice second and I would say his job hangs in balance, but according to Kroenkes, they are supporting him full on, and his job isn't hanging in balance. If it was up to me, his job was hanging in balance, because 4 years without a trophy is long than enough to get the sack. But it is what it is. Definitely he can improve, sign players, sell players, tactics and everything. The game would have been very different in the first chance that we had. We scored, but that's the goal. They didn't score. That's the thing. And that also, this game against Liverpool pretty much showcased how Fabio Vieira is not ready to properly be a winger or properly number 10, because he has attributes to place in those both positions, yet at the same time he has deficiencies in his build and everything that he cannot play there whatsoever. So like properly pound per pound, there isn't a position in the team he actually fits in properly. Zinchenko isn't good enough. He needs to get sold, in my opinion. That just definitely got showcased. Edu Nketiah didn't look like a player who wants to prove himself. And also this game against Liverpool pretty much showcased that we need a proper goal scorer in front of the net. We need a proper number 9. We cannot play Havertz in midfield, then push him up at top. Jesus, he had some chances to score which we should have scored, but he puts them wide, and he has said himself that scoring goals isn't his main strong suit. So why did you sign a striker then who has said himself that scoring goals isn't his main trait? We need a proper number 9, man. It makes the difference when you are in those areas, in those spaces in the box, putting the ball in the back of the net. But we don't have clinical enough finishers. Proper number 9 we don't have. Martinelli missed a sitter, Jesus missed a few. We definitely had chances to put away, but we just aren't clinical enough. Our players are not clinical enough. And it's not just about this preseason, it's about season before and season before that. In many instances during the season, when there was pretty much, we said, oh, that's a certain goal, they put it wide, they miss it, it gets saved, or something in that basically department. And so we had another 2 or 3 big open situations, but we didn't, so we have to improve. And you have to improve. Genuinely, you have to improve. Record attendance in Philadelphia, nobody cares about record attendance. Yes, fans were there, that is fantastic, at least some American fans got to see Arsenal, but overall, screw that. On how Liverpool have changed since Slot's arrival, whatever, dude, Liverpool fans care about that. Now, on whether we'll see Calafiori feature in the coming weeks. We had to manage him. He had a very busy 48 hours before he took his flight and joined us here. And then it was the jet lag. It's a lot of things. He hasn't trained with the team yet, and we want to build him up slowly to get to know him first. We'll have plenty of time to see him. And this is one thing that really kind of boggles my mind about this situation. Mostly because you could say easily, to be honest, Calafiori easily could have stayed in UK, in England, trained with under 23s, under 21s, run the drills. The club could have helped him get accustomed to the club, to team, to England, to London in general and everything. And then when they fly back, he can kind of join them, and then they can get the features of what is what. But no, they fly him out, and then he just hits jet lag, he sits there, does nothing, and then he flies back. In a way, it's such a mismanagement and makes no sense whatsoever for me that it's actually kind of baffling why Arsenal did that in general. Generally, it's most likely about the money, because they brought their new signing to the US, then they sell more tickets because of the hype, and that's about it, and he didn't even play. It generally feels that way, that it's all about the money and PR, because this easily could have been avoided. He could have stayed in England, as I said, signed contract, could have announced a bit later on even, or Edu still might have flown to England, signed there, he got announced, yay, happy days, and he could have trained with under 21s, under 23s, until our main team gets back. It's really baffling that Arsenal did that. It generally really baffles me in a way. On Kai Havertz getting on the score sheet, it was good to see him score a goal. I think again he's had only 4 training sessions, and he then has to play in these conditions, but he's come again in good shape. He prepared himself before he joined us, and he looks good. So basically, this sentence really bothers me. He prepared himself before he joined us, and he looks good. There's genuinely, this sentence might have multiple layers in suggestions that Arsenal are not signing a number 9. This really bothers me. If he says he looks good, he looks prepared, there actually might be a case for the fact that we are not signing a number 9. And that is for me a scary part in all of this. Because I generally believe Arsenal needs to sign a number 9. This game against Liverpool showcased that very, very good and very, very on a massive scale. So that is the big question. Will Arsenal sign a number 9? Because arguably the big thing that was missing from us last season was the clinical factor in front of goal, in the box. And that could have been resolved if we signed a proper number 9. Not a guy from Brazil who says that scoring goals isn't his main trait. Not a guy who is 6'4", moves like a giraffe, barely can win a header, and is very vastly in front of goal just like Jesus, of course. And not like Edu Nketiah, who generally trips over his own feet when he has ball in his legs at the time. So definitely, Arsenal could have easily won the league if we signed a number 9 last season. 65 million could have been spent on a striker. And now Arsenal in the same position. We don't need a striker, we spread the goals around. Okay, cool, go win then. Or, again, at the end of the season, it will be an excuse. We didn't sign a striker. Generally, that will be an excuse if we don't win anything. But how about you sign a striker and you actually win something? How about that? Show us that you are serious enough to win it. Generally, show us that you are serious enough to go in the market, sign a proper number 9, stick him up top, screw Havertz and 65 million, put Jesus on the bench as a backup for Saka, and go from there, genuinely. Big up, Nick, big up, Nick, big up, big up, big up, big up. Genuinely. Sometimes it makes zero sense with Arsenal, legitimately. But anyhow, on to transfers we move on. And Fabrizio Romano yesterday, late night, tweeted out that Arsenal are closing in on Mikel Merino, deals as a verbal agreement is now getting closer, agreement in place on personal terms as Merino wants the move. Discussions with Real Sociedad for package in excess of 30 million euros, that's about 25 million pounds, generally 25 million pounds, talks on to get the deal done. That's actually pretty decent. 1 year left on his contract, he wants the move, Sociedad get money. 25 million for a player that maybe is not the best, isn't a world beater, but at the same time maybe he doesn't raise the roof of the team, but definitely raises the floor of the room and decreases the gap between the drop off we have from maybe starting 11 and the bench, and overall in general is actually a decent 25 million, especially since we have wasted money on players like Fabio Vieira, Sambi Lokonga and stuff like that. I would say it's actually pretty decent business. Not praising in general, but overall that is definitely a good sign. With a proper striker, could have scored 4 last night. Yeah, that's the thing. We had chances to score, and if we had a proper striker, we actually could have scored. That's the thing. Last season as well, during the season, how many chances we had that we generally missed or shot at a keeper or totally just skied it. Yes, maybe a proper striker skies a chance or two here, but at the same time, you need a player who is there in the middle of the pitch, in the middle of the box. Not a player like Jesus who goes out to like wing when we are on a counter attack and our mid and our edge of the box is empty without anyone. Or Havertz who just stands there, maybe gets something, also drifts wide by the way. I don't know it's Arteta's instructions to do that or what, but it generally feels like that. Our strikers always drift wide and leaves the middle open, and there's nobody there. We need a number 9 who just sits there in that spot, because we need some link up and we need sometimes just give the pass to number 9 and then just bang, smash it into the net. Genuinely. Hello, hey Adieri. I'm good, how about yourself? Generally just chilling and having some stream fun and talking about transfers. How about you? Newcastle are going for Moukoko? Really? Generally, no? Funk, would you rather play for me, myself, for Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, or Inter Milan? Ow. Let's see. When I've played football, I always was a striker. That's first thing. Second of all, I love attacking football. I really hate park the buses and all that stuff, so that kind of eliminates Atletico Madrid. Similarly, also eliminates Inter Milan. So it must be Borussia Dortmund. Plus the atmosphere in Borussia Park, signaling on the park is incredible. I would say I would play for Borussia Dortmund. Genuinely. I would genuinely play for Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, I would definitely play for Borussia Dortmund of those three clubs. 100%. Genuinely. 100%. Anyways, according to Matteo Moretto, agreement has been reached with Sociedad, 30 million plus bonuses, and he will join Arsenal in the next few days. That is the case according to Matteo Moretto. But I think there was something else. Here it is. Arsenal have had 25 million offer accepted by Real Sociedad for Mikel Merino. The final details are being sorted out before the deal can be completed. 28-year-old will sign a contract until 2028, so for 4 years. So that will make him 32 by the time his contract runs out. And Mikel Arteta has got his man according to reports. They're very close and blah blah blah. Now, anything else about Merino before we move on? An official announcement should take... Yeah, official announcement should take the place in next few days according to reports, which is very interesting. He could be kind of unveiled very, very soon, mind you. Very, very soon, in the next few days. That is very, very interesting, to be honest. Maybe by the end of the week, during Saturday or Sunday? Maybe? Who knows? Mikel Arteta on why Calafiori didn't play last night. Okay, we talked about it. One of the weirdest moves I have seen Arsenal do in the recent time. Fly out a player just to sign a contract and do nothing, while he could have stayed in England and trained with under 23s and then just join the team when they come back. Because the jet lag and everything definitely destroys player. It doesn't help him. So I definitely would have thought that they would actually make him come here, stay here, and then when they fly back, meet up with him. Because he hasn't trained with the main squad yet. So what's the difference, him flying there or not flying there? Genuinely. Reece Nelson, one of those players that Arsenal are trying to offload. And Leicester City's attempt to sign Reece Nelson from Arsenal is not currently progressing, with the player being out of the Foxes price bracket. Basically, they offered something like 15 million, Arsenal 125 million, something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, Arsenal are asking quite a bit of money for Reece Nelson, which, to be honest, makes a bit of a sense. To be honest, he was arguably also, I would say, top 5 performers in the preseason, arguably, right? After the youth and maybe 1 or 2 players. So that makes sense. English, homegrown, has scored some important goals for Arsenal. Isn't a world beater for Arsenal. He's not good enough for Arsenal. But in general, it's very interesting that they are not signing him. Very, very interesting. Because there were talks about West Ham, but West Ham just signed Somerville from Leeds, so that is a weird one. Maybe Leeds can sign Reece Nelson. Maybe Leeds can go for Reece Nelson. Maybe, just maybe they can go for Reece Nelson. Hello Tamina, thank you for joining, first time watching. Thank you. I'm doing fan-freaking-tastic. How you're doing? How are you doing? I'm doing fantastic. A bit hot, but otherwise I'm doing fantastically well. Reece Nelson, it's a hell of a weird one. Anyways, Edu Nketiah. This is the big one. He actually might finally get out of the club. Finally, after insane amount of time. Olympique Marseille will come back with an offer of 27 million euros plus bonuses for Edu Nketiah. So that's about, 24 million pounds. They're offering him a top 3 salary at the club. So wait. He's gonna be one of the best played players in the club. That sounds weird. Genuinely, that sounds hella weird. One of the best paid players in the club in Marseille. Whoa. It's not reliable, it says it here, but it is what it is. Anyways, more on Edu Nketiah. Understand that it will be around 23 million fee with 3 million in add-ons, around that. Player has said yes to the deal. Personal terms apparently have been agreed upon, and deal is now close to completion. The big thing about this is, it's according to Team Talk, by the way. It got kinda added to that clubs are talking over the deal, but Fabrizio Romano, few minutes later, said that Edu Nketiah and Olympique Marseille have reached an agreement on personal terms. It all depends on the clubs. Deal not close yet with Arsenal, but negotiations continue. So basically, Fabrizio Romano has said that this deal is not close yet. The clubs are just talking and everything. Yet some other people are just saying the deal is pretty much all agreed upon. It genuinely makes no sense whatsoever. Some of these, I don't know, ITKs or kind of wannabe journalists are just all over the place. In this instance, if I have to choose between like 6 or 7 articles or reports, I more trust Fabrizio Romano than anyone else in this instance. But it's mad how others are claiming the deal is done, others are saying the deal will be soon then, and then someone else, big like Fabrizio Romano, is saying the deal is not close yet. It's the same as Gyökeres. Remember that Leonino came out and said, personal terms agreed upon, Arsenal will put in a bid, and he will be soon an Arsenal player. 3-4 days later, Romano comes out and says, Arsenal are admiring Gyökeres. Nothing has been done. Contact hasn't been made properly just yet. And instantly, all the talk about Gyökeres went down the drain. Instantly. Genuinely. It's actually mad. Big up, Peppermint. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. It's actually mad. It's actually genuinely mad how that works. But yeah, I guess we will have to wait and see what's gonna happen with this. It looks like Edu Nketiah will actually move. It looks like generally Edu Nketiah will soon leave. It's just a matter of not if, but more when. It's similar like with Merino. At certain point it became a deal that it's gonna happen not if, but when. I think it's similar with Edu Nketiah at the moment. According to the most reliable source in the world, The Sun. Hey, so hold on to your pants for this one. Arsenal remain interested in Bayern Munich winger Leroy Sané, with the player reportedly open to the move. That is according to Sun. Yet yesterday it was said that Bayern doesn't want to let him go, and some other things. Sané is on about 230 grand a week, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Sané is actually on some big money. If you think about it, Sané is actually on some big money. Where is Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich. Let's check quickly. Well, what type of money on is Leroy Sané? That is the big one here, because that could actually... Now, Sané is on 384 gross per week, which means he's on about, with the taxes in Germany, he's on about 260 grand a week, basically. So basically, he gets the same amount as Kai Havertz. Not sure that is a great thing, because if you pay 200, let's just say you pay 200 plus thousand a week for a player, he needs to be your starter, first of all, and second of all, he needs to perform consistently and be one of your best players. This again means that either Martinelli is going to sit on the bench and Trossard is going to sit on the bench, because let's be real, Mikel Arteta is not benching Bukayo Saka, which means Sané could play at left wing, yeah? And he's gonna start every single game. Although that wouldn't be surprising, because over the years, Arteta multiple times has tried to assign a player in Martinelli's position, with potential being better than Martinelli's in general, and not sure he's tried to replace him, but definitely find a proper backup. And it looks like if Sané would come in, he would definitely need to be a starter, because you cannot pay 200 plus K a week for a player and have him sit on the bench. Genuinely, it's not possible. Arsenal definitely cannot afford to do that, in my opinion. Moving on to this, and this is something I, in a way, like to see, and this is something very, very nice, if you think about it. Here it is. Mikel Arteta was getting visibly frustrated with Thomas Partey's performance against Liverpool last night. He was playing utterly shit. Sorry, excuse my French and everything, but he was awful yesterday. Our midfield was genuinely like cheddar cheese. You can just walk through it, through every single hole. It was like a broken fence. Everyone was walking left and right and center in all possible directions. And Partey was in that midfield. So that just shows that he has dropped off. And generally, Partey hasn't been the same since that game we played against Man City and he got outpaced by Kevin De Bruyne. That just kind of showed that he is actually done and dusted here. His legs are gone and everything. We need a proper number 6. We need to sign a proper number 6. Because if anyone says me that Jorginho can play that number 6 role. He can't. He also doesn't have legs. He's the same. He's even slower than Partey. Yes, he has better passing, he has better vision, footballing IQ, you could say, but defensively he cannot hold up. And definitely, I strongly believe if Mikel Merino comes in, there is an argument to be made that for next season our starting midfield actually might be Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, and Mikel Merino. I generally can see that happening. Although we all saw what happened last season when Declan Rice got pushed into a 6. Obviously on the left side he had Kai Havertz, which definitely didn't help his case in defensively and everything. So maybe Mikel Merino having there maybe would look better. But who knows, because Rice at 6 didn't work properly. But if Arteta is getting hella pissed, it means that he actually might be on his way out. Arteta is very, very ruthless in this instance. We saw what happened with Nuno Tavares as well. He got a stinker against Nottingham Forest in the Cup 3 seasons ago, I think it was. He got yanked off after 30 minutes, and since then, he pretty much never stepped on the pitch again for Arsenal. He got loaned out, and now you see he's at Lazio, where he got injured in the first 20 minutes of the training session. So definitely Arteta might get hella pissed about it. The 30-year-old isn't getting any younger. What is this English? The 30-year-old isn't getting any younger, okay, broken English, and appears to have lost a lot of his pace and athleticism. He's only 30, right? And he feels slower than Per Mertesacker, man. How does that even work? Per Mertesacker in his prime was slower than Partey. And now Per Mertesacker in 35 was obviously, and Per Mertesacker felt slower than Partey. And now Partey is actually moving slower than Per Mertesacker. How is 30 years old? Generally, those injuries have generally ran him into the ground. He is not ready. He cannot be at the moment our main guy. Yet 2 seasons ago, he was world class. Best number 6 in the league, mind you, better than Rodri and everything. Better than Casemiro and all that stuff, remember? It's insane, actually. Genuinely insane. Once Arteta loses his patience, he's very ruthless. Yes, if Arteta loses patience and faith in certain player, you pretty much can already start packing your bags. That is 100%, and there's no need to any discussions over this. In that instance, he just says, yep, you're done, goodbye. That is something I like about Mikel Arteta. On the other hand, I would like to see similar treatment with players in the starting 11 who are not performing good in games. Because Saka is sometimes having stinkers. At the same time, you can't hook him off because we don't have a proper replacement. And that is the big thing. There are players who are dropping stinkers many times, but you just cannot sub them off. We don't have replacements in those places. Saka, Odegaard, and other players, they just don't have replacements, and that's why sometimes he just needs to sit tight and wait. Hey, I want to see the same energy though. Zinchenko get away with it. Yeah, exactly. Zinchenko can drop stinker after stinker after stinker. But look how he's helping our attack. Okay, cool, but he is playing at left back. His main job should be defending at that instance, not distributing the ball when he inverts into midfield. In this instance, play Kivior at left back and invert from the right side. Mind you, Ben White didn't have the best game yesterday as well. He didn't look that good. But overall, we are so obsessed inverting from the left that we don't invert from the right. And actually that makes a bit more sense since that right side triangle of Odegaard, Saka and Ben White is actually working pretty nicely. I would love to see what we had under Granit Xhaka when left side inverts, left back, whoever that might be, and then that number 8 who starts at number 8 pushes up and overlaps Martinelli. Because that one overlap Martinelli had when Granit Xhaka was in the team was the key why Martinelli had the season of his life that year. Genuinely. Because that opened up spaces. Because if he gets double teamed, Martinelli at times doesn't have the I don't want to say technical ability because he's kind of techie at times when he wants to. But he doesn't have maybe the imagination or on some level footballing IQ what to do to take on 2 opponents. If somebody overlaps him, one of those defenders needs to follow the guy who's overlapping, which leaves him one-on-one. And one-on-one, Martinelli can cook anyone if he wants to. So that definitely opened him up when Xhaka was overlapping him. So at the end of the day, definitely we need a number 8 who starts at number 8, pushes up and tries to overlap like Xhaka did. And then you can invert and you can build that squared box in the midfield if you want to. Big up Midastach. Big up, thank you for dropping by. Thank you. Bless up. Thank you. Anyways, I can't lie. I think it's time we moved on from Thomas Partey this summer. This summer? We should have done it last summer when we had a chance and replaced him then. He's unreliable and not at the level he once was. To be honest, Partey's best performances was first 20 to 25 games. In the first season we finished second, right? And that is the biggest highlight Partey has had at the time since he's been at Arsenal. Because rest of the time, he's either had stinkers or he's been injured. And let's be real, 90% of the time he's been injured. And his best times actually was at Atletico Madrid. The way Atletico Madrid play against under Diego Simeone, how comes he never got injured in that team? The way he plays, the way he grinds the players, how come they never got injured there? He comes to Premier League, first trainings with Mikel Arteta, out for 6 months, instantly. He is out for the season, then he comes in, plays 20 to 25 good games, and then again, he goes missing AWOL. Genuinely, he's been here for how many, 3-4 years now? And he has had maybe 20, I would say generally about 30 to 35 good to great games. Rest of the games he's been either injured or has had stinkers. And that is just unacceptable, especially since he's one of the highest paid players in the team and supposedly should be one of the best players in the team. Yet, but we saw yesterday, with him in the midfield, we looked like a championship side. Liverpool were playing half of their pretty much most of their young players, and they walked through him like he wasn't there. Harvey Elliott, Carvalho, and other players, they just walked through him like he wasn't there. It's actually insane, genuinely insane. It's time to sell him. The thing is, if we sell him now, right now, imagine, just hypothetical scenario. I'm putting that for you as well in the chat. If you know the answer, if you have an idea, let me know. If we sell him now, right? Let's just say we get Merino and we sell Thomas Partey. Who we are signing as his replacement? Who would you go for? Because we would get about, 25-30 million for Thomas Partey. He's on last year of his contract as well at the moment. So we would get about 25 to 30 million. Most likely, especially if he goes to Saudi, right? Who we buy as his replacement? Who? We need a number 6 there. For me, I would like Partey out and Fofana in. That makes Arsenal a lot better because Partey has gone past his prime. Thought I like him. That's the thing. The prime years for Thomas Partey should have been from age about 27 to 31, let's just say, or 26 to 30. And about 70% of that time, he spent injured on sidelines in a wheelchair for Arsenal. Genuinely. He got 200 grand a week, or if not even more, with all the add-ons and commercial deals and all that stuff, and spends most of the time in hospital, in being injured, basically. Signing Fofana would be great, genuinely. 25 to 30 million would be a great deal, maybe 35. The issue is, he's most likely moving to AC Milan by the looks of things at the moment. So that deal is not coming through. Unless Arsenal do something they, I don't think, have the cojones to do. Hijack a deal. Because we are Arsenal. We should move like a big club. Go in and try and hijack a deal if you want the player. But Arsenal don't like bidding wars, don't want to engage in those type of situations. We all know that because it's happening year after year in every transfer market. Other teams, yeah, they can barge in, try to steal our players, our signings. Arsenal will never do that to anyone. We are too nice, just like on the pitch. We don't have these bad boy characters on the pitch in our team. And the same goes for club in general. We don't move like bad boys in the transfer window. We should be able, single-handedly, go, let's just say, bang, Crystal Palace. Here's 40 to 50 million, give me Olise. Arsenal didn't do that because they didn't, and in the end Bayern got him. Go to Fulham, 35, 40, 50 million euros. Even last season the same thing was, give us Paulinho. Give us. He would be a great party replacement, in my opinion. He would be an excellent party replacement, by the way. Nope, Arsenal didn't do that last season, didn't do it this season. Bang, he's at Bayern Munich right now. And that is the case every single time. We should be able to go to smaller Premier League sides, just drop money on the table like a mafia boss pretty much, and says, you're coming with me. And that's it. There shouldn't be any fear or anything. Yet Arsenal, somehow in the transfer window, in their mind, they are as big as, I don't know, Leyton Orient or Grimsby Town or someone like that. And they just go, please give us the player. We might give you the money. And that's about it. They're just shaking in their boots. And they cannot do anything properly. Because let's be real. If we had, let's just say, Aston Villa, sporting director Unai, do you think Unai Emery with 700 million could have built a winning squad? Win us the Euros, mind you, Europa League, for example. Because he got us once to the final. Mikel Arteta got schooled in semi-finals by Unai Emery, by the way. And everything. It's just shambolic. We generally should find a replacement, but who will it be? Who will it be? Because, wait, it's Yusuf Fofana, right? Yeah. Let's check. Yusuf Fofana. At the moment, Yusuf Fofana transfer rumors. Transfer rumors for Yusuf Fofana at the moment. Okay, if he goes to United, I will be hell annoyed. But yeah, most transfer news. Let's see. God offside, don't care. Yusuf Fofana, transfer news and all the rumors. Nothing much. Still AC Milan. Still AC Milan. They are the main runners for Yusuf Fofana, so nothing much in that regard. Is there a buyer? By the way, in the chat, is there a buyer for Thomas Partey? Who would buy him? And I know you want to say Saudi, 100%. I think the Arsenal should try and do a deal. Thoughts? Basically, Arsenal should try and sell Thomas Partey in this window. The issue is finding a team that would take him and then lining up a replacement. Because Arteta could try and do what Wenger did. Under Arsene Wenger, sometimes, well not sometimes, quite a bit of times, we played with 3 number 8s. We had Wilshere, Ramsey and Cazorla, for example. One was more attacking, one was more box-to-box, and one was more creative box-to-box and everything. Wenger used to do that. And I'm just sometimes sitting here and thinking, what if Arsenal signed, for example, Fabian Ruiz? Yeah? So Arsenal could maybe play Ruiz, Merino and Martin Odegaard in midfield. Would that work? It would work to a certain extent, in my opinion, because defensively we would quite open. If we played Ruiz, Rice and Odegaard, that could work. Rice at 6, but Rice at 6 isn't a great thing. Last season it didn't work. Yes, it might be due to reason that the left number 8 was Kai Havertz. That definitely could be one of the reasons. But at the same time, who knows? Genuinely, who bloody knows? Because if we sell Thomas Partey, we need to sign a number 6. And there aren't that many good number 6s in the world that could slot into Arsenal's even first team or even be a backup. Because there we could sign Yusuf Fofana, unless he goes to AC Milan. That's one. Maybe we can go for N'Golo Kante, but I doubt he will come since he's a Chelsea player. Used to be a Chelsea player. I don't see that. High wages, maybe, who knows. To be honest, Kante was excellent in Euros, by the way. Who else is there? I'm just thinking on top of my mind number 6s, good number 6s, and there aren't any just popping to my head. Obviously, there's Rodri, Tchouameni, maybe Camavinga, but he's left back / number 8 more than the number 6. But maybe Camavinga. But let's be real, Real Madrid are not selling 2 of their best players to us, Tchouameni and Camavinga. Who else is there? Barella? But Barella also strikes me more as number 8 than number 6. There aren't any, pretty much. Number 6 is such a lost role these days. You need to do pretty much everything as a number 6. So basically you need to sign a world-class number 8. Yeah, those you can sign. The issue with this is, do we have the cojones to put massive money on the table and take one? And I don't think we have. Especially if we decide to sell Partey this summer. And if we decide to sell him, who would take him? Because besides Saudi, right, I don't see any other takers. That is the big thing here. I genuinely don't see any other takers besides Saudi. And that's mad. Genuinely mad if you think about it. Moving on to Edu Nketiah. According to Fraz Fletcher, cool. Edu Nketiah is close to joining Marseille after the club made an improved offer to Arsenal worth 26 million, which includes 3 million add-ons. If this is true, take this money, run away, hide in the bush, turn off your phone, and change your bank account so they can't recharge. They cannot ask for a cashback. Genuinely. While the player has been offered huge wages, transfer described as imminent by Team Talk. Ay Dios mío, Jala Maria. Anyways, this one. This is according to Gazzetta Italia, the Gazzetta dello Sport, obviously, right? Knowing English media, these all sources, take this with massive grain of salt and don't trust it. Because according to Italian media, Arsenal are still signing Osimhen, and we all know that's not happening pretty much. Agent Rabiot has many suitors with Real Madrid. They don't want him, definitely. Atletico Madrid, I can see that. Although doesn't strike as that Atletico Madrid player, more or less. Although he's similar to Saul, but Saul was bare and they got rid of Saul. They just signed Conor Gallagher, so it's very weird. An Arsenal in pole position. Holy moly, Italy, man. What are you cooking there? Salmonella or what? The player views playing in the Champions League as an essential at his next club. Obviously, all these three clubs are in Champions League. Real Madrid, I don't see Real Madrid going for Rabiot whatsoever. I don't see Atletico Madrid going for Rabiot, although they might if it late in the window they need another midfielder. Arsenal, I don't want Arsenal to sign Rabiot. Genuinely don't want to. Rabiot doesn't strike me an Arsenal type of player. He just doesn't strike me as a decent player who is good enough for Arsenal, mind you. It's just my opinion. Let me know what you think down in the chat or comments below if you're watching this a bit later on. Anything else here? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? No, we talked about... Oh, here it is. Arsenal work in transfer market is by no means over. Even if they land Mikel Merino, that's not if when we land by the looks of things. Arteta and Edu still remain open to strengthening in attack, and the wide player remains of great appeal. Now, does that mean attack as an addition, so the Arsenal want to sign a wide player? Though any deal could be dependent on the future of Reiss Nelson. So if we don't sell Reiss Nelson, we are not signing another winger. So that's what you're telling me here, right? If you read between the lines, this means if Reiss Nelson is staying, you cannot get rid of him because of the wages you have put him on and the money you're demanding for him. We are not signing a winger or a forward in general. Oh my god. As always, Arsenal have shot themselves in the foot, and now it's gonna cost us. Ay, Dios mío, Costanza Bomboniera. Anything else? Let's see what Fabrizio is saying. Is Fabrizio saying anything today? If not, we're gonna go to check some articles. Oh, we have to scroll way up for Fabrizio. Here we go, here we go. Dani Olmo, Carlo Ancelotti. Oh, Vinicius will win a Ballon d'Or according to him. Burnley have signed a centre back. Adeyemi, more on Karim Adeyemi. His move to Juventus considered currently off. Okay. PSG have signed, by the way, João Neves. In return to Benfica goes money, add-ons, and Renato Sanchez on loan. Now, I had small hopes that this deal would mean that maybe Arsenal could sign Mikel Merino and Fabian Ruiz. But it looks like, I don't remember which team it was. Generally, Villarreal, Valencia, who else is there? Atletico Madrid. Someone was going in for Carlos Soler, and Soler obviously plays for PSG, so if Neves comes in, Soler is going out, so we are not getting Fabian Ruiz. Anything else? Crystal Palace has signed a right winger, which means he's not going. Nelson isn't going to Crystal Palace. What else? West Ham are potentially signing Fulkrug. They signed Somerville and they're going for Fulkrug. That's kind of mad. West Ham are building something massive. Lopetegui has gone insane amount, not maybe insane amount of money, but he's building something massive there. I generally, West Ham could be a very surprising team this season if they get things properly correct. Genuinely. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Adeyemi, Nketiah, we already talked about that. So nothing there. So let's see what's happening here in this regard. What Leroy Sané has previously said about Mikel Arteta at Man City, don't care. Genuinely don't care. Impending Arsenal sell. Tip to stick 2 fingers up to Arteta during rapid England descent. What the hell is this article about? Now this is a proper clickbait title. This is a proper clickbait title. Stick up 2 fingers. Now that's what I call a clickbait title. That's the only reason I clicked it, by the way. Now that's what I call a clickbait title. Respect. Arsenal could consider signing Fulkrug, but Fulkrug is 31. So he doesn't fit the profile that Mikel Arteta wants, basically. Obviously, Mikel Arteta and the going understanding around this transfer window is that Arsenal want to sign experienced players and everything more to increase the experience in the team, to maybe get it more mature and everything. But Fulkrug is 31, and I don't see us signing anyone that old. I don't see us, because I don't think Mikel Arteta would consider him. I am from Latvia, if you know where that is. Anyways, impending Arsenal sell tip to stick 2 fingers up to Arteta. Dude, this is mad. Either it's this or it's, well, you know. If you know, you know. Let's see. That is Emil Smith-Rowe. I hope it was Nketiah, by the way, because Nketiah was in the picture, but hey ho. Mikel Arteta Mikel Arteta could use struggling 34 million Arsenal player in an entirely new position next season. If this is Zinchenko in midfield, I wouldn't be shocked. Oh, it's Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira could be Arsenal's new competition for Bukayo Saka. No, he can't. He's too weak to be a winger, man. How many times we need to go over this? Genuinely. He's not strong enough to be a winger. Yes, he has some glimpses that he can do something at number 10 and something at wing, but he is not good enough to be a winger, to carry the workload that Bukayo Saka is carrying. Even half of the workload. Genuinely. He can't even, to be honest, he cannot even properly play in midfield, you know? He gets overrun in the midfield. As a number 10, maybe there is more. Number 10 instead of Odegaard, he has the biggest hopes in playing for Arsenal, in my opinion. But even that he does on occasion very questionably. Very, very questionably. Especially when Odegaard goes missing against, let's just say, Bayern Munich again, or Liverpool, or other teams. Will he be the guy if Odegaard gets taken off? By the way, he's the captain and he gets subbed on more often than anything. That is actually not a good thing for a captain, by the way. Do you trust Fabio Vieira to carry and raise the level of the team maybe in the last 10-15 minutes? I don't. He's that type of player who legitimately is in between about 2-3 positions on the field, especially in Mikel Arteta's system, but he doesn't fit in properly in any of those. Similarly, like Emil Smith-Rowe, he can be a 10, a left wing, and a number 8 potentially, and he can play all those positions somewhat decent, but there isn't a specific position he could excel massively at. And I see something similar in Fabio Vieira. But mind you, Mikel Arteta has said and hopes that this is Fabio Vieira's breakout season, so hey ho, here we are. Let's see what he does this season. No. What else? Nothing else. Arsenal looking to hijack PSG move for elite striker. Yo, if this is... No, why Osimhen? What is this bullcrap? I told you that Italy still thinks that Arsenal are signing Osimhen. We are not. Give over. Ay, Dios mío, man. Arsenal in pole position over surprise transfer despite Mikel Merino deal close. Okay, let's see. What is this? 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 What is... No wonder your typing is typical of an IT background. What do you mean IT background? What typing of IT background? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? I'm so confused now, man. What do you mean by that? Another summer signing. Who is it? Rabiot. No. Don't give me Rabiot vibes. Don't give me Rabiot at Arsenal. Genuinely, I don't want to sign him. I don't want Rabiot at Arsenal. No bid for Arsenal's 24-year-old despite talks with 2 Premier League clubs. This is Ramsdale. This has to be Ramsdale. No, it's Reece Nelson. Oh, Dios. By the way, what's happening with Ramsdale? Generally, what is happening with Ramsdale? Is he gonna get sold, loaned out, or what is happening? You're too fast. What do you mean? I'm typing too fast? Or talking too fast? I'm so confused. I'm not sure it's an insult or it's just a random comment. I'm genuinely confused. Not gonna lie. But it is what it is. I'm not taking it personally. All good. If it is an insult even. Sevilla signing set to miss La Liga an opener. Here we go. Let's go. Sambi Lokonga. So it's not bad enough that Nuno Tavares gets injured 20 minutes in the first Lazio training. Who has an obligation to buy? Sambi Lokonga has an option to buy only, and he already is injured with back-to-back injury problems for Sevilla. Injury blows, although it seems somewhat mitigated that losing him impending return to the club, the young midfielder is set to re-sign permanently from it. Dude, he's already injured. All of the players we loan out get injured, get something. We are never gonna sell them, are they? They're gonna just see out the contract and leave for free, isn't it? Aren't they? Genuinely, aren't they? Genuinely, aren't they? That is mad. Genuinely mad. Liverpool defender considering on-field future. That is Joe Gomez, obviously. Marseille could do 20 million Arsenal deal with sell-on clause. He talked about that. Arsenal strike agreement with 85 made. If this is Osimhen, I'm shutting off the stream. Genuinely. If this is Osimhen, I'm shutting off the stream. Zergzi, according to reports in Spain, not only once made it's Gyökeres. Here we go. Later. There is potential that Arsenal. Where do they get this information from? Genuinely. Here it is. However, the club demands have since fallen to £68 million, a much more manageable price tag for Arteta, who could have snapped up and got 93 million. So the price has gone down by 25 mil, by the way. That's quarter of its value. That's actually pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually pretty darn good. Arsenal are hopeful that the sales of Smith Rowe and Edu Nketiah can aid in their move for the Swedish sensation. This is true or this is just waffle? Who knows? Genuinely. Because if sales of Emil Smith Rowe and Nketiah funds us Gyökeres, I'm over the moon. I'm not gonna lie, we finally have a striker after 4 years of begging to sign a striker. Because Mikel Arteta still hasn't signed a proper number 9. Because Jesus doesn't count, he said he cannot finish. Pause. And Havertz was signed as a midfielder, and then when he didn't work out, he got just yeeted up top. But Emil Smith Rowe is supposed to sign for Fulham for 27 million. That actually means that isn't that Merino money, or is it just in general if we're gonna sign Merino? It's hella weird. It's hella sus. It's hella weird. Anyways, news done. Let's just chat for a few seconds here. Let's see what you have to say in the comments. Some top gooners are saying that Gyökeres would cost 70 to 80 million and saying that's why we shouldn't do it. Oh, my camera went out of focus. Nobody told me. Fantastic. Anyways, 70, we shouldn't do it. That's why. Are they mad? Wait, sorry. But I see many reports that Gyökeres... Exactly. I'm seeing the same thing. 60, 70 million. I don't care. I know striker market is very small this transfer window. Genuinely, it's very, very limited. Let's just say that. But if you put money on the table, it is there for peep's sake. And Gyökeres is one of those who actually will work in Premier League because he has played in Championship. He knows what the football is all about. In an Arsenal system, how we create chances, how many chances we create, and how we do, he generally could score about 20 to 25 goals easily, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. Not humble, that's my expectation, let's just say that. Yet there are some Arsenal fans who are saying that Kai Havertz will score 20 goals next season. Kai Havertz will score 20 goals in Premier League next season. Hello? Hello? Genuinely. If it's 60, 70 million, just go and pay the money. Genuinely. Don't waste money on some random players, just go and pay it. It's not an insult. I mean, you are typing too fast like an IT. No, don't worry, it's all good. I didn't take it as an insult. I know you didn't mean it as an insult. Mind you, I'm not an IT person. By the way, I'm not an IT person. I have learned some coding on my own, but I'm not an IT person whatsoever. Genuinely. Exactly. Don't care how much, just buy him. 60, 70 million, just go and buy him. If you can afford to spend 65 million on German giraffe who moves like he's been shot with a tranquilizer dart, genuinely, then you can afford to spend 60, 70 million for Gyökeres. There's no argument about that. It's time when Arsenal start being serious. They should have been serious about 10 years ago already. We moved to Emirates to be serious, by the way. To compete for Champions League, to compete with Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and all of them stuff. And once we get in Emirates, we will able to sign the big players. Didn't happen. Now when we sign Edu Arteta, we need to get in Champions League to sign big world-class players. Where are they? 2 years in Champions League it's about to be. Where are they? 600 million spent. Where are the world-class players? Where are they? You could argue that Arsenal, even at this given time, arguably don't have any world-class players. There is an argument to be made about that as well, genuinely. But that's a whole different discussion. I'm not getting into that right now. Havertz plays good behind the striker, but he's not a scorer. Exactly. He's very wasteful in front of goal. His heading ability, pause. He doesn't do good. No, that sounds bad. If you understand what I was about to say. He's heading for a 6'4" guy feels like he's 5'11" or 5'9". He just doesn't have any pace behind the header. When he shoots the ball, it feels like he's gonna break a leg or fall over or do something weird. Generally, it's hella weird. It's generally hella weird. It's hella weird. But Arsenal want to spend that kind of money on such type of players. Yet at the end of the day, when it matters, when you need to sign someone specifically for a certain position to elevate us to next level, oh no, we don't want to. Rice is world class. I'm not getting into that one because I've been live for 1 hour and 4 minutes already, and if I get into that, it will be another extra an hour at least. But for me, Rice isn't world class yet. He could be, but he needs to still do quite a bit. Because the world-class player you need to compare him to is Rodri. And there's a lot of missing from Rice from what Rodri has. Because everyone says Rice is just like Rodri. Rice is the best DM in Premier League and stuff like that. He's not. Let's be real, he's not. Rice is not world-class. He could be if he wanted to. If in about 5-6 years maybe. The closest player, in my opinion, to world-class level, or a player who can reach the world-class level, the fastest at the moment, is William Saliba, if he can avoid injuries. Mind you, if Arsenal don't win anything, I can see him going to Real Madrid. And as soon as he wins La Liga and Champions League with Real Madrid, he instantly becomes world-class. Just saying that now. If Arsenal in next year or two don't win anything, still, or just one Carabao Cup or some shit like that, not Premier League and Champions League, Real Madrid will come, take him, because the players also at some point will become sick of not winning anything, because they need to leave some legacy behind if you have any ambition as a player. He will go to Real Madrid, win some trophies, and that's it, he will be world class instantly. Because to be world class, you need to have some trophies and merit behind it. And none of our players have that. And I think until we start winning things, we cannot classify our players as world-class players. You need to have something behind it, genuinely. If we become second again, I officially give up. To be honest, there's a possibility of that happening this season. Mind you, if we don't make the proper signings, that second place also might not look as good anymore. Because every single team, in my opinion, that finished behind us has gotten better. Man City, they are at the top. You could say they don't need to get better. At the same time, they make one or two more signings to maybe have a KDB replacement, maybe have a winger replacement, or one or two players they have as a backup / replacement, and they're back in it. They don't need nothing much else, genuinely. Aston Villa have gotten better. The teams that are behind us have gotten better. Arsenal at the moment, I don't see an argument for them that they have gotten better. Because signing a defender when you have the best defense in the league don't make us better. Maybe the only thing that gives us is depth, because last season we avoided injuries like no other team in the world. Genuinely, we were lucky not to get injured. Because 2 seasons ago, Saliba got injured, bang, our season was done. We couldn't do anything. This season, imagine Odegaard or Saka gets injured, or them both at the same time. Who's going to replace them, Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson? Then imagine what's going to happen to us then, genuinely. I think we will be in the top 4 battle. Depends on the signings. At the moment, it's too soon to tell because there's 1 month in the window. Let's be real. But if we keep moving like this and we don't sign the proper players for proper positions and we don't actually shape up, we could find ourselves more in a top 4 battle than in the title race. Or it could be a 3-horse title race with Arsenal coming 3rd. There is a possibility of that as well. Yeah, don't give up. If we get 90 points and finish 2nd again, it's still a very good season. Certainly not a failure. So you want to tell me achieving the same thing you did last year is not a failure? Because at this stage where Arsenal are at the moment, it is a failure. Because if you don't win anything, where is the process going? Because last season, we, as I said before, avoided injuries. This season, we may not be as lucky. And as soon as 1 or 2, even 3 players of our main squad drop, our own team will drop. Because the difference between our starting 11 and the drop-off to the bench is like the Grand Canyon. And that's how at least 300 million of the 700 million Arteta has spent has been wasted. In those 300 million, you can build a proper bench. But under Arsene Wenger, we had this thing. Starting 11, okay, he was here, nor here or there. But the bench was awful, subpar, players needed to be sold, and contracts ripped up. Fast forward 5 years, well not 5 actually, 7 years, and we are where we were before. Bench is awful, contracts need to rip up, and half of the bench needs to get sold. So there's no progress in that. We are back in top 4. Cool. But we have won nothing. We legit have won nothing. That is the big thing. Our first 11 fixture is gonna absolutely could break us. If we don't do things properly, it could break us. Genuinely, it's a make or break start. First 11 games, we play all the first 13 games of the season. We play all the big 6 sides. Plus, we play Villa, we play Newcastle and Brighton. And most of the top 6 sides games, besides Liverpool, are away games. So that will show what is what. Spurs away, City away, United away, Chelsea away. All those are away games. Genuinely, it will show what is what then. It will show then what is what. Second is second, regardless of the points total. Yeah, you can finish second with 90 points, you can finish second with 78 points. But you are second. And nobody cares who finishes second. Everything that people care about is winning. And this sport is about winning the titles, the merits, the achievements, not getting record points. Okay, cool, you got the record points. But at the end of the season, it means nothing if you haven't won anything. Genuinely. Oh, that is a big, big talk. Anyways. Exactly. Big 6 sides. Besides Liverpool, in the first 14 games, we have big 6 sides all away. And plus Newcastle, Villa. We have Brighton in that mix of things. And we have some banana peel games if we're not ready. Because I don't think game against Wolves will be easy. Genuinely. Especially in the first game of the season. Yes, it's at Emirates. It's a cool thing. But at the end of the day, it might mean nothing. Because at the moment, we don't look that ready. Let's just say that. At least we have 2.5 weeks to prepare still. But it is what it is. But anyways, guys. It's been fantastic to chatting with you guys. Talking about transfers. Having these discussions and everything. It's time to end me here. It's genuinely time to end me here. If we draw Wolves game, the meltdown. Exactly. Mind you, in those 14 games, yeah? Don't forget we have Champions League. And between the game against Spurs away and City away, which we have back to back, in the middle, we have Champions League. And God forbid that game is also an away game, because we will have to travel all over the place. And that could gently break everything. Anyways, as I was saying, this will be the end for me. Thank you guys so much for chilling. Thank you so much for being here. You have been fan-freaking-tastic, guys. Thank you so much for chatting. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, share the thing, comment, do all that good stuff. Have a great evening. Have a great tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow evening. Take care, stay safe, and stay amazing.